Whenever we picture a planet being protected against the onslaught of an invasion, we all visualize the quote-unquote good guys of the 40K universe, like the Imperium, the Tau, and the Eldar. They all defend their territories, and we have tons of fan art depicting planetary defense forces hunkered down behind the defensive lines, or Titans standing vigil over a hive city. For the Eldar, we picture hundreds of skimmers launching out into the battlefield to push back a marauding horde, and in space, we see the Tau fleets providing orbital defense from piratical warbands. But how often do we consider Chaos forces defending their planets? Some of us don't even think about the possibility of the Imperium or the Eldar invading a demon world, but it does happen. Now the goal might not be to take and hold. Sometimes the Imperium just needs to cause as much disruption so that whatever is festering underneath a Demon Forge world or a Chaos Space Marine recruitment world is completely ruined. And on these occasions when the forces of Chaos are actually the defenders, the inhabitants of these planets must rely on their own array of protectors. Aside from millions of slaves that can be used to stop an invasion or a Chaos Space Marine warband that might rally against an intruder for the sake of bloodshed, the ruinous powers trust the defense of their worlds on the massive and powerful demon engines. Just like the Imperium has Night Houses and Titan Legions that stand ready to die for their planet, Chaos has these demon engines that delight in the slaughter of an invading force. Whether their protection is caused by an ancient binding ritual or a demonic contract signed by some crazed and insane planetary ruler, the demon engines second to this planet will fight with the same amount of ferociousness as any other defender. And the best example of this type of demon engine is the Aruntar. And with that said, I want to welcome you guys back to another 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host, Gershwan, and today we're going to be talking about this Tzeentchian demon engine, a protector of a demon world. If you guys are new to the channel, we post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day. What I try to do is create a video with a lore portion, a hobby portion, and then a Q&A portion at the end of the video. So if you guys have any questions or any type of suggestions, just comment down in the comment section below and you'll hear my response the following day. And if you guys enjoy this type of content, don't forget to hit the like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. But with all that said, let's get into 40 facts on the demon engine known as the Aruntar. The Aruntar is a unique demon engine of Tzeentch. It was created on the world of Casal, located in the Screaming Vortex, a warp rift that separates the Calixis sector of the Segmentum Obscurus from the Coronus Expanse region of the Halo Stars. Only slightly smaller in height than a Reaver Battle Titan, the Aruntar is a golden, four-legged creature of destruction. It was built largely of ensorcered materials and housing a demon of immense power. Where the main body is entirely mechanical, the centaur-like upper torso is mostly demonic. Surprisingly, the two arms sport close-range weaponry for something this huge in size, but they are no less devastating to the targets. The right arm is mechanical, covered in spines that almost appear alive, but are made of hardened brass. It is tipped with a huge, rune-etched blade capable of slicing vehicles in half. The left arm is akin to that of our gargantuan flamer of Tzeentch, fleshy and mutable. It vomits forth great gouts of warp flame. The creatures and vehicles alike are either altered or destroyed under its iridescent fire. The Aruntar literally stands above any war engine produced on the planet of Casal. Thus far, only one has been created, as its designer and binder, Arsulair the Grand, sacrificed himself and his life's work to bind the demon monstrosity to the construct. When the sorcerer realized the power of the demon he had entrapped into this machine, he had to sacrifice an entire slave pool and his best apprentice to control the demon. This created the single largest war creation to come from this planet. This demon engine was created with no head. Instead, mounted firmly in the chest is a single red cyclopean eye and a platform jutting out mid-abdomen. It is ringed with spikes suggesting a fanged upper lip. Atop the platform, bound by the final incantations of the Master Artificer, is the most accomplished apprentice, still struggling to maintain control of the demon. None of them show signs of aging or fading in their power, but there are many who wonder how long this will last, and what will happen should any of them falter and the demon gain control of the entire machine. In generations past, the Aruntar has awoken to action, but none can fathom what drives its actions. It quelled a renegade slave rebellion on the city of Tarnor, but also released warp fire plagues that burned much of the city of Valkyr. It destroyed an entire section of a city's outskirts, crashing towers into the sea, but then marched to eradicate an invasion of blood-crazed coronet warriors. These excursions are thankfully short-lived, few relishing the sight of this massive creation marching towards its unknowable destination. Many of the more power-hungry and mad techno-sorcerers have tried to convince the demon engine to work for them, but are met with infuriating silence. For the last 200 Terran years, the Aruntar has been totally inactive. standing vigil over one of the blighted areas of the equator of the planet, as though expecting something to emerge from the dead zone. Entire chaos cults have sprung up to worship this demon engine, their sacrifices perhaps to a god that does not bear witness to their rites. Many of the elite on this world keep wary eyes and a warp augury focused on the Aruntar, afraid both that the mad engine might come to life and that it might not, should the planet need to survive. And that's the lore on the Aruntar. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Now it's time to answer some questions that you guys left off in the previous 40 Facts video, which came out during the weekend. And this is the 40 Facts and lore on the Death Watch Station Arcus. If you guys have more questions for me, or if you guys have any type of comment that you guys would like me to react to, comment down in the comment section below, and I will cover that in tomorrow's 40. Oh, it's the fruit fly. It's back. Damn it. I will cover it in tomorrow's 40 Facts video. Hopefully no fruit fly. Where's the plant? I didn't get rid of the plant, but the plant is in the living room now, so I should bring it back in here so that it could eat those fruit flies. Anyways, this question comes from Psycho Mikey. I had a very heretical thought earlier. What if the Emperor caused the AI revolt? Think about it. Mankind was on the path to becoming entirely machine and thus have no need for someone like the Emperor and even be able to overpower him if they choose. Now, very little is written about the cybernetic revolt. For all those that don't know, the cybernetic revolt is one of the catalysts that brought about the Age of Strife. So it was a period in humanity's history where like the Imperium was scattered and it was pretty much destroyed. We have a 40 Facts video on it. I'll put a link up above. If not, just look up 40 Facts and lore on the Men of Iron. But the important part is that like the Men of Iron back then were robots that assisted humanity. They weren't integrated to the point where like they weren't like in WALL-E, the Disney movie, where it seems like the robots were doing everything and the humans didn't do anything. That's not the case. Freaking fruit fly. The reality was that they were just kind of like helpers, similar to what the like the Titans and the Knights are, but with nobody inside of them. And then also like giant world builders, because as like humanity went from one planet to the next, certain resources weren't there, so they either had to create, like some type of hive world out of whatever resources were on that planet, or transport things to that planet to have those resources, like Pharaoh Creed and all that kind of stuff that you hear in 40K lore. So they weren't as integrated with machines as you might think. They weren't like cyborgs or anything. If anything, I think the Imperium now is more cybernetic, especially when you look at the or more cyborg-like, especially when you look at the Adeptus Mechanicus and like you think the main dude, is it Belisarius Caw? Yeah, Belisarius Caw is just basically a complete machine. He's been living for 10,000 years. The cover art, where is the book? Oh, it's all the way over there. But like the cover art of the latest Adeptus Mechanicus Codex shows a picture of, I'm guessing, Belisarius Caw. And he just has a bunch of arms. Like, very little of him is still human. And that is not what the AI or the Men of Iron back then were. They were just assistants to humanity, and humanity still had much of its control, based on the very small information that we have. So no, I don't think the Emperor could have created the cybernetic revolt. At all. Next question comes from, let's do Sam Shire. Can Titans operate in the hard vacuum of space? What is a Titan's power in comparison to a 40K ship/flotilla that would carry one? So the big difference would be that obviously the battleships would have way more weapons, similar weapons to the Titan, but the Titan would only be like one or two of like the big Titan guns, whereas a 40K battleship would have just rows upon rows of those similar guns. So could a Titan operate in space? Yes, but it wouldn't be the same type of function as like Gundam, where like you think of Titans in space, you think of Gundam and how they can like maneuver themselves and all that kind of stuff. Titans weren't that what would it be? Like, they weren't that, they couldn't operate that fluidly out in space. They would kind of just sit and act almost as a battleship. So they are better on the ground because on a planet, they're basically a big fish in a pond, whereas in space they would be, a regular size, or no, a small fish in the ocean, basically. A good question though. Next question comes from Jason Ryle. A couple of weeks/videos ago, when you did the Orc Rock Terrain build, I thought I saw some lady's hand helping you out in a few of the shots. Was that Miss Gersh, or did the alchemist get his nails did? The sound alchemist got his nails did. He likes that kind of stuff, and you know what? I don't judge. Next question comes from Conan Holmes. No, but yeah, that was my significant other. Conan Holmes says, the orange box thing to your left in these vids, is that a cappuccino machine? No, it's not a cappuccino machine. This thing is the Da Vinci Mini. It's a 3D printer that I haven't used. One day I'll use it, I swear. Now that I've been making more of these types of 40 facts videos, the constant talking about this 3D printer is making me want to use the 3D printer just so that I can say, I use it and I build this and that with it, because right now it's taking up space on my small little desk. I have a small little IKEA desk right here with my computer. But yeah, this is the Da Vinci Mini, and it's a 3D printer that I'll use someday. Paul Dickinson says, I'm not the only one who thought the guy in the thumbnail looked like Buzz Lightyear, right? You're right. It's a very cool and classic 40K art of a Death Watch. I think it's no, not a librarian. Well, he's a Death Watch space marine, and he's picking up a book and stuff. And yeah, he kind of does look like Buzz Lightyear. Most shave-headed space marines look like Buzz Lightyear. Yeah. Have you guys ever checked out this was really popular on Instagram and on Facebook like a year or two ago, but somebody kit bashed a Primaris Marine to make him look like Buzz Lightyear, and it was amazing. I wish I could remember his name. We've posted him on our Instagram with like his information and stuff like that. So if you check out our Instagram, we have one of those, or we have an image of that, and then you can find him through our post and stuff like that. Next question comes from Christian Holt. Are there any notable instances of Death Watch kill teams facing against an enemy that they usually wouldn't / or i.e. chaos? Not notable instances that I can think of. I think GW really created the Death Watch specifically to be Xeno killers, because I feel like the Ultramarines, you think Tyranids. The what do you call them? The Crimson Fist, you think Orcs. So I think the Death Watch was really just like Xenos in general. Whereas Chaos is more for probably like the Dark Angels, the Blood Angels, stuff like that. But nothing that comes to mind. Next question comes from PB Unit. How are you? I'm okay. A little nervous, just because next week I don't think I'm going to be able to put out as much content as I normally do, which I haven't been putting out that much content to begin with. So next week you guys are going to be, the channel's going to be pretty dry. Sorry, but that's just a heads up. But once the first week of July is over, things should go back, and I should be creating more content for you guys. This next question comes from Bill Sullivan. Are you guys all caught up on the contents of the newest Primarch book, Alfarius, Head of the Hydra, and the potential implication it could have for the future of the Imperium? No, I don't really read the Horus Heresy books or a lot of the Black Library books. I'm still reading The Beast, and I'm not really reading it, I'm listening to it. Usually while I run or something, I'll put it on Audible. But no, and I think a little bit of a frustrating thing when it comes to that is that there's a lot of changes that seem to be happening because of these Horus Heresy novels that kind of twist and mess with the consistent lore that you're used to if you're a tabletop player. And I think there is a big disconnect sometimes between me and like our audience, because it is very like you guys are lore driven, and I am like I am more about like the hobby. I always have been. It's just so happens that like I also talk about the lore. But no, I haven't been, or I haven't gotten caught up. Maybe in the future. And but yeah. With all that said, comment down below if you guys have more questions for me. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. I'll try to get to it tomorrow. Just ask again. And thank you guys so much for listening. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.